Great Girlfriends, we invite you to What Women Want 2017, June 15th through 17th in New York City, powered by Prudential. The 2017 What Women Want Conference is all about uniting women from around the world in one weekend with power talks, workshops, dance breaks, beauty and wellness tips, and authentic connectivity that will inspire you to return home ignited to create change. This year, our theme of building bridges and breaking barriers is about women creating connections first with themselves and then with others to lead an outstanding life. At What Women Want, over 200 great girlfriends will go from me to we as our programming will guide girlfriends on living a life full of purpose and power. Connect with like-minded women who stand as bridges towards higher living and meaningful relationships. Gain clarity on what they truly want to manifest in their lives and their friendships, and celebrate the power and passion that women display when we leave all of our cares behind and savor the experience. So last but not least, log on now to whatwomenwantconference.com. Again, that's whatwomenwantconference.com, and grab your tickets while they last. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Brandis Daniel.
And I'm your co-host, Sybil Amuti.
And we have a great girlfriend with us.
Hey, hi, girlfriend. Hi, my girlfriend. I know, I sound so white, don't I?
Yes.
I do.
Should we call you a comediologist?
A comediologist. That sounds like somebody who tells jokes and drinks a lot. That's a comediologist. Sure, you can call. That's better than a lot of the things I've been called. So that's fine with me.
We have guest girlfriend Judy Carter with us.
Yay! And this has been a long time in the making.
Yes, it has. Judy, you're so patient.
Oh, yeah, I had no choice, but here I am. My favorite thing is like, oh, it'll be great. We'll do it like at 2 o'clock my time, or what was it, 12 o'clock, and I'm going like, I'm in LA. That's when we're sleeping, so.
Right. Just so I'm clear, what time do LA people like to get up? Because there's not like an hour before noon Eastern where LA people are available. They're like, no.
I can't figure LA people out. I have no idea. You go to Starbucks and like everybody is there, whatever time, like noon, writing. And it's like, don't you have a job? Everybody's in Starbucks writing something. Shouldn't you be writing like, not a screenplay, but a resume,
right,
like to get a job? Nobody has a job here. Everybody's just wandering around in the sunshine.
I love it. I come out to LA and I'm like, I don't want to do anything important.
Right.
I just want to float.
I feel the same.
I want to sip an iced coffee and float. Thing. Like I want to be a part of the culture.
Yeah, we're shallow. What can I say? I gotta hurry up because surf's up.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so Judy, tell our girlfriends who you are. I love, Brandis and I had a chance to watch a few of your YouTube clips, and we've been laughing since the moment we've grown into contact with you. Oh my God, you have a furry friend behind you.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of animals here. They let me live here, so it's their house. Their house.
But tell our girlfriends a little bit about who you are, Judy.
Well, I can tell you what I do. I've been very fortunate in my life that, what I'm wearing cost me like 7 jokes. My house cost me 1 million jokes. I've been very lucky to make a living from what I love doing. And I had been a stand-up comic for about 17 years, headlining comic. I opened for Prince, and that was like awesome. And I'll send you a picture of me and him. It's hysterical because he's about my height and I'm 5'3". And then I quit after 17 years because I got really tired about, working for drunks. And stand-up comedy is rather a lonely life. Uh-huh. You find yourself on the road and sometimes the only people I really talked to was the audience, and they were all drunk. So it's like it was like a dysfunctional relationship with my audience. Can you guys stop drinking and just take me seriously? No, you're a comedian.
But then laugh. Don't forget to laugh. I need you to laugh.
So I stopped doing it, and my story is that I didn't know what to do with my life. My mom had died. It was a terrible time in my life. Mm. And then I went I need to do something. I need to get a job, I guess, but I've never had a job. So I figured I rent an office and pretend I had a job and just go to work every day. Like, this was like pretend. And because I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And then you learn things. Oh, you can't bring your dog to work. Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, so then someone said, what do you do? And this was like an office share. And I went, nothing. And she assumed like, well, I'm in management or something important. And she said, well, can you type? I need someone to type. And so I helped her type, and she wrote books. And she said, you should write a book. And all I know is stand-up comedy. So I wrote a book on stand-up comedy. It was rejected by 59 agents. And then there was one agent that I think I met in a Weight Watcher meeting, and she loved the book, and Random House published it. And there's another woman who loved it. Her name was Oprah Winfrey. Maybe you heard of her? Oprah Winfrey?
No,
yeah.
Right. Doesn't ring a
Well,
bell.
anything that Oprah holds close to her bosom, whether it be a book or a presidential candidate, it does really well.
Uh-huh.
So she had me on her show. She loved my book because it teaches people how to turn problems into punchlines. Because comedy is all, we wonder why comedians are depressed. It's because comedy is our salvation. It's the way to turn what the problems in our life into something funny. So then my book exploded and everybody wanted to become a stand-up comic. It kind of hit with the explosion of comedy in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And then I got calls from corporations saying, hey, can you teach us how to manage stress with humor? Mm-hmm. I've been invited to the U.S. Senate. I've spoken at FedEx, and even the IRS invited me. And I speak on now transforming, like when you can laugh at a problem, it's smaller, right? Have you ever had a boyfriend and, he dumps you and then, it's painful. And when you can make a joke about that person on stage, and that laughter, when you can joke at something, it's pretty much close to over. Although, people say like comedy is tragedy plus time. Of course, if you're just joking about everything, you're sick. But if you're not sick, you're not dealing with it. But if you can make a joke about something at a certain time, that means it's starting to be over.
That's true. That's like the pains of motherhood. When instead of crying some of those early nights, I would just laugh.
Yes.
Like, I chose to be here. I don't know why I would do it, but I'm here, and here we go. So, yes, we get it.
So, when you can, this is what I teach, when you can express yourself something funny, you're going to be heard in the hospital. Like, because stand-up is essentially complaining, but funny. Mm-hmm. So you get your message across, but people still like you. Otherwise, you're just a bitch.
Tell us how you took, obviously, comedy for you was turning problems into punchlines. And I know you gave us a little bit of your early story. Can you share with our girlfriends how you literally, in your own life, used comedy as a piece of salvation for you?
Well, the first time I remember how well this worked was when I was, like I said, a breakup very early in my life when I was in my 20s. And I remember, and I had been dating actually Andy Kaufman. He's a comic writer. You're too young, but anyway, he's kind of famous. And he dumped me. And I remember getting on stage and just going on a rant, like, oh my God, we had one thing in common. We were both madly in love with him. How many, right? And then the audience would laugh, and then I'd get this kind of wave of warmth all over me, like melting my anger. And it's like, oh my God, he was so self-absorbed. How many men shout out their own name when they make love? It's like, oh God. And I went, and here I am worshiping the ground that he walked over me on. And
wow.
And I just remember just was spontaneous. And that's when I went on stage. And that's when I realized that what we do in comedy is turn mess into success. Mm-hmm. And I just on my blog wrote an article about Carrie Fisher, who recently died. And she made, she had bipolar, and she made a career out of mental illness. Mm-hmm. There is no better revenge for something wrong in your life that either God does to you or somebody else does, that if you make a joke about it, you have power over it.
Mm-hmm.
You're asserting your magical transformation skills
Mm-hmm.
to turn that into, like anything. I don't know what's going on in your life, but I can help you show you where the humor is, and then when you laugh at a problem, it just makes it smaller.
So how did you even how did you even start in stand-up comedy? Because that's one of those careers that people aspire to be. Like people say, I want to be a public speaker. I want to be an actress. Those are one of those things that seems like it's so hard. Like everything is coming against you. What was your path like to get to a place where you were like, okay, this is actually working for me? What was your first steps?
Well, I don't think that really counts because I started, there were no other women doing it except maybe Elaine Boozler. I mean, when I was on the road, it would be all guys, and then they'd introduce me as like I was a small zoo animal. They go, are you ready? Now we have something really, really unusual. A woman. It's like as if having a vagina is going to prevent me from telling jokes. So it was like always an oddity. So at the time I started, it was before the comedy boom. And now the competition, there's so many comics and not very much room. And I'm shocked at how, what I got paid back maybe in the early 90s, I was getting, $1,500 maybe a week, $2,000 a week, which was considered really good back then.
Yeah.
And now they're getting the same thing, the same thing, which is like nothing. And so when I went into speaking for corporations, because people go, oh, you're selling out, you're doing it for corporations. I don't see it as selling out because the people who work for corporations, I'm trying to bring some freedom and levity to the people in cubicles.
Yeah.
They have a hard time. And so when I do my jokes about I even do a rap song really badly, but about life in the cubicles. I mean, that's my mission now is to help people who haven't laughed in years. Like they come up to me and go, oh my God, we haven't laughed forever. And that's what I love doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't work when people are drinking anymore. Because that's how I grew up, making people laugh at the dinner table is something, making drunks laugh at the dinner table is something I did as a child. So,
wow.
I had a really scary father, was drunk, and I would always try and lighten things up. And you know what? I think we all are acting out our childhoods on some level. And I just went, enough is enough with that. Let somebody else do it.
Yeah. So tell me, Judy, for someone who's listening, who's like, it's easy for you to say, you're a comedian. So quite naturally, you'll find a way to locate the humor in a tough situation. How do I, a regular girl from X, Y, and Z state around the nation or around the world, how do I locate humor when I'm in the middle of trauma?
Okay, well, I think trauma is too strong of a word because trauma, I'd say go see a therapist,
okay,
right?
Let's lift it, stress.
But let's talk about being pissed off.
Okay.
What are you pissed off about? What happened today? It's like
what's one of our consistent points of, I'm pissed off because I'm not married. That's one that comes up a lot. Where are all the good guys?
Oh, where are all the good guys? They're in relationships with other men, of course they are.
Oh my God, lost breath. And she sips tea immediately after.
So Judy, I'm working a job that is paying a lot of money, but I'm not happy. I want to find my passion.
Oh, you want to find your passion? Well, I believe, I wrote my latest book that came out is called The Message of You, because I believe that every single person has a story, like a life message. And that is where you find your passion. When you discover that what you know is really worth a lot. So what we need to do, what everybody needs to do, is look at their life story and what was your mess. Okay, and most people are in touch with what mess they come from. But what people aren't in touch with is their success, because we all think, well, I'm not president, I don't have a lot of money. But success happens every single day with putting together something from IKEA, or
seriously.
like little things, like what is a success? And so if you look at your days and go, all right, what was a success rather than what didn't happen? Mm-hmm. What was a success? And then if you go, wow, that's pretty something considering I came from,
absolutely,
whatever you came from. And then you start looking at the journey of your life, you're going to find that you are awesome. You are amazing. But most of us don't stop to really look at that journey. Mm-hmm. We're so busy trying to spin plates and take care of things and do things that we don't really realize how far we come. So I wrote a book called The Message of You, so people can follow that and really find their message. And then I encourage people to speak, because everybody feels this way. I'm not living my passion. I don't know what the meaning of my life is. What is my purpose? And I think when you stop to examine it, like people in my workshops are going, oh my God, I didn't realize I had so much to talk about, so much to say, so much that I can inspire other people.
Right. I love, Judy, a bunch of things that you said. One is about the success and how it happens every day. And I think each one of us can look at one thing we did well every day that adds up to a larger success, but gives us these micro successes that just make life so good. And then I love how, Judy, you started talking about your journey into comedy and how you turned your problems into punchlines. But also, I figure, along the way, you've had to reinvent and you've had to discover all the ways to continue to find or locate relevance for your message across the board so that you can always have success as a, what do we call her? Comediologist?
Comediologist. Yeah.
It's true.
And and for people, sometimes people quit when they get to a certain juncture in their career and they feel like there's no more space for them there. And I'm listening to you and the decades that you've traveled as a comedian, as an entrepreneur. Seriously, that was
a little shady, right?
No,
Judy?
it was not shady.
The decade statement wasn't that shady?
Decades was like, I started. Lewis and Clark was exploring America, and I was doing.
I caught it, Judy. I caught it.
That's how old I am.
No, but seriously,
I was like doing jokes of what's up with Eisenhower. No. Quite seriously.
Judy, I was with you on that one.
No, I was trying to say seriously. Some people can't last 5 years in a realm as a solopreneur without feeling like they can't make it and they quit. But she literally has transitioned through comedy. And I'm saying,
here's the thing.
She's one of the early women to do this, and now here she stands, still one of the strongest comediologists in her field. And she's learned how to create reinvention. So now she takes her message into the corporate environment. Yeah. And she has workshops and she has books. So many people quit because they don't know how to make their brand evolve.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So I was trying to applaud you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that applause, any applause I can get. You know what happens? I really feel open to the universe to say, tell me what to do. And sometimes I don't understand. Like I was a big Hillary supporter and I didn't understand. I mean, I thought, because I paralleled my own family situation with a really narcissistic father who was also a fact denier and a weak mother. And I thought Hillary was going to come in and heal my childhood and heal this country and, help people go to college and, continue Obamacare and make it better and all this stuff. And when it didn't happen that way, the way I wanted it to happen, I had to go, okay. I mean, I really struggled with it. And then I went, okay, I get it. This is a mess. And as Martin Luther King said, we all don't do great things, but we all can do small things in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
And that really inspired me because I thought, okay, this means that it's a challenge. It's a challenge to do something, And so I formed a little Facebook group called LA Resistance. We started having meetings. We start to do little things because life is not easy. Success is not easy, but success is something that happens every day. And unless you mark that success and acknowledge it, you're going to feel like a failure. Mm-hmm. Because what is success? I mean, there's only like such a small percentage of comedians who are truly famous, Ellen DeGeneres or, Jerry Seinfeld, but it's such a small percentage of all the people out there who are really talented at making people laugh. Are they failures? No, because your success is what did you do today?
Yeah.
And we keep focused too much on what did we do and where we're at, and I'm not living my passion. Well, what did you do today where you did something that was really in line with your beliefs? Did you only eat a half a sandwich because you're on Weight Watchers? That's success. And then you take that other half a sandwich and you give it to a homeless person. That's success.
Yes.
And then you go and you pick up a piece of litter, and that's success. Like, what is the message of your life and how are you living it? And you can't wait for a job to give you passion.
Come on, preach.
I know.
Amen, sister. Let me hear you say it. You can't wait. You gotta do small things every day. I hear an amen.
Amen. Oh, God. But that's so true because we work these jobs, and then we find ourselves in our mid-30s going,
yes, panicking.
Yes,
panicking.
I've been at this job for 10 plus years and I hate it and I don't know my passion.
Look at you right now. You guys, girls, women, have put together a podcast.
Yes.
You go, now, here's the thing. This is, you got to listen to this. If you didn't hate your jobs, you wouldn't have put together this podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's motivating you to go, I'm so sick of, I don't know what you do, putting.
I just had a conversation this morning with my mom. I was listening to TDJ yesterday, and he was saying how, like, the most painful parts of your life is the things you should really celebrate, because those are the things that push you to where you need to be.
Absolutely.
And it's like a squeeze, right? That squeeze, you're like, you can't even stay in that space because it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then that squeeze pushes you like to the next space.
Yeah.
And that's
Have you noticed how boring people are who have a wonderful life? Have you ever been to a rich person's party and it's like, oh, yawn.
Everyone's rich and fine.
I was teaching stand-up. People would go, well, nothing bad has happened to me. And, my weight is great. Well, no one's ever rejected me. Oh, my teenage kids love me. And I guess if I have a problem is that I can't seem to gain weight. And everything I eat goes right to my breast. It's just horrible. Well, they're not funny. They're not funny because what we're all doing in life is trying to heal that childhood. And I have to say, I grew up with an alcoholic father. My grandmother's manic depressive. My sister was a drug addict. My older sister had severe cerebral palsy. My father is abusive alcoholic. And I thank that childhood because I wouldn't be funny without it.
Yeah.
And it's like, when do you get so sick of your life that you actually do something?
That's it.
Yes. That's it. I love it.
And that's what I feel has to happen with this country. It has to get so bad that people are it's going to be so much better than it ever was. But it's not going to be like, oh, there's Obama, and now there's, African American, now there's a woman. Oh, look, there's no more racism, sexism. No, it's going to get really bad until everybody, but that's the way it works, because only then do people rise up, take some chances, and,
it's true.
make the world a better place.
It's so true. It's so true.
Very true.
And so many of our great girlfriends, Judy, are in that space.
Yeah.
Where they're searching and they're trying to figure out and they're in miserable situations and and they look sometimes and they say, "Oh my God, you guys look like you're doing what you love." But you're right. We were both in very, before I became an entrepreneur, I was in a space where I just knew I had to do something else. Like, I wasn't honestly in a horrible space. I actually kind of liked my job, but I just knew there was something else. There was an uncomfortableness about where I was.
Well, here's an example of someone who hates their job and did something about it, okay? One of my students, she's a greeter at Banana Republic, hates her job. Hello, welcome to Banana Republic. So she takes my Message of You workshop, and I tell her that, you know so much more than you think. You're not just a greeter, but you're the maker of first impressions for Banana Republic. And you see where they head to, You see what works. So let's put together a really funny talk about customer service Banana Republic. And ask your boss at the next big Banana Republic local meeting, can you do your speech? She did it, 5-minute speech, it was hysterical, it was great, it was dead on, and they invited her to national.
Wow.
And she did her speech in front of all the executives. Next thing you know, she's a spokesperson for Banana Republic, and now she's an expert on customer service.
Wow!
I love it.
Yeah. And now she's making $10,000 a speech, okay?
There she goes.
So here's the thing. Every single person listening to this podcast has opportunity. I don't care if you're a greeter someplace. I don't care if you're sitting in a cubicle. If you stop just bemoaning your position and open your eyes and look around, there's possibility. There's always, if someone slams a door in your face, look for the window, because that's what happened to me. I mean, I didn't want to do stand-up anymore, and I couldn't get a job, and I had absolutely no skills. So I just went, I want to know what it's like to go to work. So I rented an office with my last bit of money, and it's just so I can have the experience of going to work. And then something happened. So I say, do something different. Sometimes it doesn't matter what it is, but try something different and watch your life change. Right. If you always lead with your right foot going up steps, lead with your left foot. Start small.
I love it.
But that's what comedy is. It's doing something different, having a different reaction to something.
I love it. Judy.
Yes.
Judy, this was so incredible. We got fire trucks going on in our background, but it's okay. This was so amazing. Judy, I'm so inspired. You just put fire under me.
I know. Give us the 2 books again. Where can our girlfriends get your books?
Okay, it's called The Message of You. And you can even register at themessageofyou.com, and you get all this free stuff, and you can look at videos to help you find your heart story, themessageofyou.com. And the book is also called The Comedy Bible if you're interested in a career on stand-up. But The Message of You tells you how to find your story and turn it into a paid speaking career.
I love it. Oh my goodness. We have a ton of girlfriends who are looking to take the next level around speaking. And then where can we connect with you on social?
Oh, at Judy Carter on Twitter, and Judy Carter Comedy on Facebook.
Awesome. Okay.
I love it.
And YouTube, Judy, you have a YouTube channel.
Yes, it's YouTube. Just put in Judy Carter. We're rearranging it, but you can see all my funny stuff there.
Perfect.
Judy, this was amazing.
It was worth the wait. It was so good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I really feel we are girlfriends now.
We are.
Yes, we are. Well, we always close out with thanking our husbands. Kwaku, my husband, I thank you so much and love you.
And I thank you to Rich Daniel.
And then we thank our kids, Sam and Dylan are my 5 and 7-year-old. Love you. 5 and 8-year-old now. Excuse me. Sam's birthday. Yes, in January. So love you so much, kids.
And thank you so much to Miss Sky, who is almost 15 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's getting up there.
Yes. And to all of our family and friends who support the Great Girlfriends, our She-Suite, as I learned at Black Enterprise, they're calling it. We have an amazing She-Suite who supports everything that we do. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you. Please remember to connect with us on social, on Instagram,
at The Great Girlfriend,
on Facebook,
at The Great Girlfriend,
on Twitter,
at _great GFS.
Yes, and make sure that you join our Facebook group,
Yeah, we're 16,000 strong now.
Yes, under the Great Girlfriends. Be sure to listen every week on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Republic, Podcast Bean, Blueberry, and every other podcasting source. Post your questions online, share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Sybil.
I'm Judy.
And we're signing off. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.